everyone. It's Andrew Knight here from our ICS to Tech Partner Program, and I'm very happy to have Menno with us from Proptech for Good. So what I'd like to do really quite quickly is just pass across to Menno to introduce himself and give a bit of a backstory on his personal journey through Proptech and what Proptech for Good is all about. So over to you, Menno.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Andrew, and looking forward to have this conversation with you. Yeah, I'm Menno, born and raised in the Netherlands, and the founder and quartermaster of Proptech for Good. Yeah, Proptech for Good is an alliance composed of leaders who are active in the built world and who are using technology as a lever to contribute to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So in everything we do, we believe that believing challenging the built environment, and we also believe in the people as a source of good. Yeah, and we challenge the built environment by unlocking people's potential through the activities, of course, and empower them to take action so that they can create a better world. Things which are good for the business and of course also life-changing for people. And to do this, we facilitate that alliance.
Great. I mean, how did you first get into Proptech, Menno? What's your backstory?
Yeah, it started in the end of 2015. I was working on a project for Savills Property Management, and at a certain moment, I did some research for them in the UK. There, I found the word Proptech. I registered proptech.nl, and at a certain moment, I founded Proptech NL. So really focused on the Dutch market and connecting the real estate industry and the tech industry so they can learn from each other and of course doing business. But also at that moment I had some frustration or something like that because Proptech was very focused on tech and the what, and very focused also on the startups and scale-ups. So that was the message. You should work with technology and you should work with startups and scale-ups. And I always said, that's part of the puzzle, those companies, because for me it's the merger of two industries, technology and property. But then the question is, why are we using technology? So for me, it was like, hey, what's the why? Why are we doing this? And so yeah, I connected them with the SDGs because everybody speaks that language, or more and more companies are speaking that language, because not everybody is familiar with those 17 goals. Those goals are signed in 2015 by 193 countries. So yeah, we should know them, of course. So it's more like, hey, how can we work on a higher purpose? So during the lockdown last year in 2020, I launched Proptech for Good, also to reframe Proptech NL. Proptech NL is still there, for the language and the Dutch market. But Proptech for Good is a global initiative. So the first thing we did was joining forces with already now 36 national, regional Proptech networks. So that's from Australia, Japan, Malaysia, South Africa, almost every country in Europe, or the most, Canada, Colombia, so spread over the world. They signed all the confirmation of commitment and support, so they committed to the SDGs and supporting also to exchange, knowledge, network. So that's also one of the unique things I think for Proptech for Good, that we can work together on global challenges, and we need local solutions in that way. So that's what makes you us unique. Really focused on the impact, and on the global impact. So I always say it's 1 + 1 is 11. So that's the network effect, which we can achieve.
So Menno, for Proptech for Good, what would you describe as its aims? And to use the cliched question, what does success look like for you? I appreciate it's probably a journey, but what are its aims, and what would success look like for you?
When I look through my glasses, or maybe when I close my eyes and I'm dreaming, and of course it's all about action at the end. I see the transformation from an regenerative culture to a regenerative culture. So that means that, for now I make it really flat, unhealthy people, unhealthy businesses, and unhealthy planet. That's what created by the degenerative culture. So it's very short terms. It's a short-term focus on the short-term benefits in that way. Isolated parts, the silos. It's architecture, it's engineering, it's construction, it's brokerage, it's operations. It's also informed by outdated technology and also the outdated way of thinking. The scientific management, so very focused on the old industrialization model with the pyramids and the hierarchy, and the values are primarily focused on what they can qualify, and so it's not future proof. So when you say, hey, what's the aim, we have to go to the regenerative. So that's upcoming. The degenerative is going down. Then we also have to bridge that gap. That's where the SDGs comes in, because sustainable is neutral in that way, and regenerative will be net positive. So net zero is in the middle.
So we have to build back, don't we? We have to reverse the decline, but then remedy the damage as well.
Yeah, but now we're creating net negative.
Yeah,
it's negative. So we go to neutral in that way to say, okay, that's more focused on the SDGs, and net positive will be really the big next thing. And of course, we have big challenges, Andrew. Don't get me wrong, because it's not easy to with the thinking from the last decades to change 180 degrees. So we have a huge innovation potential. I believe, businesses can be a force for good, and everybody wants to contribute in a good way for the future, for future generations, doing good, have that great feeling, doing something with their own purpose. So I really believe we can do that. And that means that we are striving to optimize the whole. So the whole should be more than the sum of the parts in that way. We also, it will be more informed by nature, because at the end we're part of nature. We're not in the top of the hierarchy in nature, because that's the old way. So we have to work with nature, learn with nature. For example, we have the termites, belts or mountains where they live, their houses in that way. And it's very hot there. But inside, it's the same temperature. So what can we learn from them, which we can use in our own buildings? Because they don't have technology, or maybe they have, but we don't know it because it's so small. But but they don't have it. They don't have a BMS system. So can we do something with airflows? And I know there are some buildings which are under construction. So those things, I think it's really great to see, hey, how are things working? You know, we can use buildings as an energy, as a powerhouse in that way, but we have to take care that we can exchange things. Um, so more a regenerative nature. Yeah. So you know, we also always talk about human design, but it should be more planet human design, because human design is very focused on uh, consumptism, buying stuff, using stuff, and we have to switch that. And of course, we have our challenges. You know, it's not an easy thing. But when I look through my glasses, literally, or dreaming, you know, I see that in front of me. But I know it can be also very technical and digital. But that's not the world I want to live in. And when I do some meditation during my talks, my keynotes, um, sometimes I'm using some sort of meditation moment. And then afterwards, you hear people saying, yeah, you know, we see green, we see, you know, more nature and that kind of thing. So people dream about that. I think we have to go there, left or right. So, um,
So
let's go.
in terms of tangible stuff, I know many of you've been working on an ebook. Tell us about that and what's in the ebook and how people can use that to make some of these ideas come into reality.
Yeah, you know, you have to know that we need to bridge that gap. So in that ebook, which is a co-creation by the national networks who were aligned at that moment, that were 33, so now it's 36. And I asked them the question, hey, what can we do to grow the PropTech for Good movement? So property, technology, and for good. Um, Working on the SDGs, that's the first big step. And they said, hey, maybe we can create a book where we tell the story about Proptech for Good. We inform them about the national networks in general, you know, who they are, but also add at least 60 examples of young companies, so the startups or the young tech companies who are contributing with their solution to the SDGs. So, for example, if the startup said, "Hey, we're working on renewable energy," they have SDG 7, and they could add also SDG 9, for example, for innovation. So you can see where they are working on, and it's really about, you know, getting inspired, see what's on the market, because I know, and we all know, there are more solutions than 60 70 in the world, you know. So it's more about getting inspired, yeah, move to get in action or to do more to achieve your goals related to the SDGs, and of course also ESG, because that's really related in that way.
So how can PropTech firms and associations get involved? What can they tangibly do to get involved in this network and contribute and learn? What's the mechanism for organizations and associations to get involved?
Yeah, the first step, of course, is subscribe for the newsletter. You know, to stay at the head of the curve. Um, but if you want to be a partner, you know, you can reach out. We have a partner package, and they can become a partner. And at the moment, because we also installed our first advisory board members, we also discussing what can we build on that layer of the alliance. So I have 3 pillars in my head, you know, what we could do. But of course, you also have to validate that, and I can think this is what they need, but if they need something else, so that's in the process right now. 3 pillars and the roof. The roof is the big societal challenges. The 3 pillars will help, and the basic layer, and which is also the network or the oil to get things done and to grow that movement. So that's what they can do, become a partner and be part of this, journey in that way. There is no path already, because we're going to create something new, and not, I don't want to fight the old. I want to explore the new. So that's what it's all about. So I'm really looking for leaders who drive the dialogue, the action, the change, the business builders, the visionary, and not directly looking for the company maintainers, because we need them, because we don't want to fall and that everything collapses. But Proptech for Good is very focused on the next and the new, instead of what is yesterday, and do it more efficient.
I understand. So, I mean, we obviously live in very interesting times at the moment, Menno. What are your plans in the short term, given the restrictions that we literally live under at the moment for Proptech for Good? What sort of activities are you planning to do over the next few months?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I think in the next 12 months at least, we are in a transition. So the last 12 months, we have to get used to work from home and to find our way. Now we have to find our way back, but also finding a new balance, because it's not a discussion, working from home. So if companies say, hey, you have to go to the office, say, hey, but what did we do last year? So I'm running a global business, but I'm also running Proptech NL, of course. So I expect that it will be hybrid, of course. But if I want to facilitate that global network, it will be digital first, but not digital only. And I have already invitations, to speak online in different countries about Society 5.0, about Proptech for Good, about trends, or have the debates or the conversations for table sessions. But I also talking already with some organizations to have physical events. Especially right now in Europe, but I can imagine that will be all around the world. I know it's already it's depends on how things will going, but I can imagine that next year I'm going to Australia, for example. But I also have to balance. Just being honest, I also have to rethink and rebalance the activities, because I don't want to fly 300 days a year. Not for my health, but also not for the future of the planet.
Indeed.
Yeah, but at the other hand, I also have to engage. So so that's also part of my transformation as a person, and also as a company. How to balance that, and how can we be a force for good? So it feels okay, and not flying for just 1 hour presentation to Hong Kong. And of course, I want to visit Hong Kong. Never been there, but it's more like we really have to be aware of our time and the impact we make or not going to make. So that's what I'm. Yeah, and I think everyone will be part of that. I see different things. Also people who really go left, but also people say, let's go the old way. And I think people really have to be aware that we are part of nature, we can explore Mars or something like that, but we first of all we have to take care of
Yeah,
our planet. So
I would agree. I think perhaps one key learning from the last year and a bit is that sense of balance and understanding that we are connected to the
yeah.
world, and we are not in any way disconnected from the effects of what we do or what the environment can do to us. So I think that sense of balance and proportion in terms of what we do, I think hopefully is perhaps, if there are any benefits from the current situation, is making people think about that element of balance in what we do. And that,
Yeah, it's about balance. There is also a big part of the population who have really other issues, about food,
mm,
about a house, sick, and that kind of thing. So it's also about caring, and being aware. And at the other hand, we also have the situation where you say, hey, maybe it's better to have a longer stay, or we going by train instead of by plane. So you can say, hey, normally I went by plane to Paris, for example, and that's 500 kilometers from my house. So, but I can also go in by train, So, and it has another impact. And almost the same route, because I first have to go to Schiphol, and then
yeah,
I go to Paris. That's by train. I did that, and I can also go by car to the airport and go and fly to Paris, for example. I don't think it's the best way. I think it's better to go by train, um, and maybe a longer stay, and not flying.
as you say, just for one meeting or for one presentation or for one event.
That kind of things, and
Yeah,
we really have to take care of that, and that's this, yeah, the simple thing. We have some big challenges for the next years. It's
indeed,
not,
we do.
no, we can't wait. The evidence is there. It's more like how and what and when, not why.
Indeed, indeed. Well, it's been great to talk to you, and I'll make sure that when we complete this video, we'll put the various links so that people can get in contact and hear more from you. And I look forward to catching up again in a few months and having another conversation, Menno. So, thanks very much for your time, and speak to you soon.
Yes, thank you, Andrew, and looking forward to have our next conversation in a couple of months. And in that time, best of luck, and speak soon.
Speak soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.